Good morning. I'm Jen Amos at Weiss Research.
I'm Andy Myers, and this is your morning market update for Wednesday, January 19th. Stocks on Wall Street are little changed in early trading as investors digest disappointing earnings from Goldman Sachs and mixed news on the real estate market. Construction of new homes fell 4.3% in December, a bigger drop than economists expected. However, building permits, viewed as a more accurate gauge of housing demand, rose to their highest level since last March. Following the data, the dollar is extending its losses against the euro and other major currencies, and gold is rebounding from some recent losses, once again closing in on the $1,400 an ounce mark. Copper is jumping to a new all-time high, and crude is also rising, now back near $92 a barrel.
The fourth quarter earnings season is in full swing, with the bulk of today's reports coming from the financial and technology sectors. One of the day's biggest stock losers is likely to be Goldman Sachs, dropping 3% in early trading. The company's net income came in at $2.4 billion, less than half of what it was a year ago. Goldman's revenue also declined, although both numbers were roughly in line with analyst estimates. Wells Fargo is also losing ground, despite matching Wall Street expectations. Revenue dropped 5%, but profit rose to about $3.4 billion, as Wells Fargo continued to generate fees from originating home loans. Also keep an eye on Bank of New York Mellon, U.S. Bancorp, State Street, and Northern Trust today. Those financial firms all posted quarterly results as well.
On the technology front, investors are focusing on earnings reports from Apple and IBM, both released after yesterday's closing bell. Apple's profit and revenue came in well ahead of expectations, thanks to strong holiday sales of the iPhone and iPad. Apple also boosted its outlook for the current quarter, which will include the launch of the iPhone 4 on Verizon Wireless next month. Right now, Apple shares are rebounding, up nearly 2%. They fell more than 2% yesterday after CEO Steve Jobs announced that he was taking a medical leave of absence. Meanwhile, IBM is gaining 1.5%. Big Blue reported better than expected earnings and sales, thanks to strong business demand for its mainframe computers. The technology earnings continue to roll in after today's closing bell, with eBay, F5 Networks, and Xilinx all set to report.
A couple other stock movers to tell you about. Comcast is rising more than 1% after a stock upgrade from Collins Stewart. Yesterday, the Federal Communications Commission approved Comcast's deal to buy a majority stake in NBC Universal. Meanwhile, AMR is gaining nearly 1%. The parent of American Airlines posted a smaller loss than it did a year ago and said international growth will boost its seat capacity this year. But on the downside, American Express is falling 2%. The company announced that it's cutting 550 jobs and taking a restructuring charge of 6 cents a share. That's the latest from Weiss Research. Have a great trading day.